Alright, welcome back guys. So in the last video we talked about handling if the user was to press the wrong answer. I'm just going to load up that scene so you guys get to see that. So go to main game, press play. The star 2 times 5, so 30 is definitely the wrong answer, and you get the flashing red effect. So in this video we actually want to incorporate the streak feature. So if you notice this little meter, like it keeps filling up, and there are 10 stars in the middle of the meter. And so every time user gets a correct answer, this meter will fill up. You'll notice that it's filling up automatically, and that's because I have a script just to test it to run just keep running in the background. But I'm going to remove that, so we'll get to that later. And so once this meter is filled up completely, I'm going to add a little text right here, the cover in the video, that adds a streak, and it's going to add a multiplier to the points that you get every time you get a right answer. And once you get the answer wrong, again, then you lose the streak completely. All right. Let's get started. So I'm just going to go to the fill meter scene. There's just a single scene that contains just a meter and a text. I'm also going to pull up the script. If I click on the number meter border, it has a script called streak meter. I'm just going to pull that up. So if we look at this IEnumerator function, this is the function that is being called in the start method, the coroutine, that fills the meter up automatically. Like I said, I only had this for testing purposes, so I'm going to comment this out. So testing purposes. And then the comment of the code, let's highlight it, Control K, then Control C. Alright, it's going to complain because that function doesn't exist anymore. We don't need it. So feel free, you can completely delete it if you want. I'll just comment out mine for now. Alright. What else is in here? Okay, let's uncomment this text. What this is doing is it's calling the text, the public text. So the script is looking for a text to fill in the streak. Alright, the enumerated function is, so if I was to press play right now, alright, we see that it's not automatically filling up. So that's good. So let's just go back to the main game scene. So first of all, we need to add a streak text box right here, or somewhere. Feel free to change the UI however you like, but I'm just going to put it in this top left corner right here below the timer. So I'm just going to dig through my objects and find a good spot. Points display, this is the points display section, is this left side section. The number meter border, that's this one here. This window is this little section right here. So I'm going to actually change the name of this. Timer section. So we zoom in, you see that's the space that the text is taking up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to right click the time section, slide down to UI, create a text. Alright, so I'm just going to put streak in here. I want to set the text in the middle. Increase the size a little bit. Yep. Alright, that text looks good. Okay. So we're just going to do streak times 1 for now. We also need to, so that the font follow the same sort of format as the other text, I'm going to call the text outline. What is it called? Outline. It's just called outline. Where you notice that the text begins to look slightly the same. Okay. So, what we need to do, right now, the game needs to, the fill meter needs to be able to fill up. And so the game manager will take advantage of that. And so the game manager, let's open up the script. We need called private. We need that fill meter class. Here, it's points display. Oh, let's just name this streak multiplier text. So we call it public streak meter streak meter. Alright, so let's see. We call the public streak meter. What functions in here do we want to grab? On the start function, we want to set the meter. I'm going to do this first. Then we call this Boolean start. Basically, if Boolean start, if it's the start of the game, no, we don't want to do that. because what we want to do, we want to set the text. Public void set streak text string value and we just say text, but text equals value. Go back to Game Manager. On the start function, streak meter dot set streak text the ×1 multiplier. We always wanted it to be ×1 multiplier at the beginning. And then set this, since the streak is set to 1 as default, we need to be able to pull that value. And so what we're going to do, call public float get streak value, return this dot streak, the reason why we need to do that is if you go to the Game Manager, and in the function select this answer. If the answer is correct, then we update the score. So when we update the score, or we can just put it in this function. So we update the score, it'll be 5 times streak meter dot get streak value. Can I convert float to int? It's an easy fix. Just fix this function to int. Go back to Game Manager. The error is gone. So what's going on here is that every time a user gets correct answer, the 5 is the default points, and in fact we should map the points to a private variable. So private int correct answer value equals 5. And then that way we don't have that 5 all over the place. We can just leave it, and if we wanted to change it, we can just change it from the top of the class instead of searching through the code. So it isn't a big deal for this particular class because it's pretty small and we don't have it referencing the points, at least at 5 all over the place. So it's pretty easy. But when you have bigger classes and more complicated scripts, then you'd want to make sure variables like those are mapped. Values like those are mapped to a variable. So private or public. Public if you need another class to grab it. Private if it's only for that particular class. So we're going to run that real quick. Press start. I'm getting the answers wrong. Okay, let's just think. Uh-oh. What's going on here? It's not accepting that. So we notice we have a null reference exception. So let's just click on that, see what's happening here. So what's happening is that this streak meter is the null reference is called on this function. So set streak text. So let's go to this text. Set streak text, text.text. Alright, how's it grabbing that text? That's a public text. Okay, so that means that's a game object that we need to pass in to the streak meter. We haven't done any of that. So we're going to highlight the number meter border, go to the inspector, notice that it's looking for this text. So we pass the streak multiplier text. That. Do I want the streak to be public? I'll leave it as 1 for now, because it needs to start off at 1. But we pass the text, the streak multiplier text, and it's calling a null pointer on that. But what we also need to do is that the game manager is now looking for the streak meter. So we're just going to slide this into sorry, grab the wrong one. So let's go back. We're going to grab the number meter border into, and that's the streak meter. Alright, I'm asking for this flash animation, but we don't need it. Let's go back to game manager. Public flash animation. Don't need that anymore. Alright. Compile, let's run it. Alright, let's think. 96. Alright, 5, because we have 5 points in as a times 1 multiplier. The meter is still not filling up, but we'll get into that. That's wrong. 35, that's 7. That's 10, still times 1 multiplier, which is good. 15, alright, that's good. 66 divided by 11, 6. Alright, that's good. Now the meter is not filling up, and that's something else that we need to handle. So let's go here. Let's go to the game manager class. Now when a user, put a comment here, update score and add in multiplier. So we call this function the set meter amount. So let's look at this function. If fill amount is not equal to 1. Oh, so what this is saying is if the fill meter is not full, then add the current amount to whatever the fill amount is. So if it's 0.9, then we're going to add the 0.1 to it. But if it is full and you're adding another streak onto it, so we're adding another correct answer onto the streak meter, then we increment the streak, then we set the meter to the amount of that one question, and then we just update the text. So I'm going to create another private variable, private float. Does that accept a float? Yes, it does. It's a private float. The streak value equals 0.1f. We can give it a multiplier. The reason why we're getting a squiggly line like we're getting here is because the value is not being used. So we call the streak value. Oh, so once the user gets the right answer, we call streak meter dot set meter amount dot set meter amount to streak value. All right. So let's give this a try. Press play, press start. Oh, there you go, that's one question. Oh, come on. 8, 9, 14, okay. 239, negative 178, all right, 81, 232. All right, should go up now. There, so now you get the times 2 multiplier. So that should be 10 points. So that should go to 65. 65. All right, that's good. Let's go a little further. Let's speed this up a little bit. All right, so times 3 should get 15. So we get 160. Or sorry, I can't think. 170. Yes, that's correct. All right, so that's good. Now, the only issue is that the meter doesn't do anything once I click a wrong answer. So that needs to be taken into account. And this is quite an easy fix. So let's go to streak meter class. We just call a function public void reset. We set this streak back to 1. We update the text. Let's call the function. That's better practice than what I was doing before. Control C. I'm just going to fill it in right here. Oh, and we need to set the meter. Set the meter to 0.0 f. This is calling a float. So we go back to the game manager. Once this user selects the wrong answer, well, streak meter dot reset. All right, so let's give that a test. Press play. So we got to get the streak to at least 2. So I need to get the right answer. The pressure's on. 9, 10, 6, 8. Okay. Oh, well, it worked. It killed my streak. That's good. The back is back to 1, and okay. As you can see, sometimes the answer still gets duplicated, and that's another issue we'll have to sort out in another video. 57. Ooh, this time is going fast. Think. Alright, times 2. I need to get this wrong. There you go. Streak back to 1. To give me. And then it went up by 5 points because the streak multiplier is 1 and the default amount of points is 1. Alright, and so that's how you handle the streak meter. Alright, thank you guys for watching. In the next video, we're gonna handle the duplicate answer. We're just gonna change the options so that to make sure that they never have duplicate answers. But if you have any questions, put it in the comment section below. Thank you all for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe.